Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here and welcome back to another episode on the YouTube channel. In today's video, it is a game against one of the teams in the lower half of the table. However, we've just gone through our very busy and very difficult period in December and we're finishing it off against Liverpool and we have got a Premier League classic to recap for you. I've also come in with the game still on the balance. We've just missed a corner to win the game 5-4 and if we can maybe find a highlight like doors, we can maybe win the game or if not, lose the game here at Anfield in what is the best game of this season. I'm not currently live. I'm actually trying to plan my fantasy Premier League transfers while this is all happening, and it is very early morning. However, this is all worthy of being part of the episode. So what we're going to do for this first part is we're going to watch the end of this Liverpool game. We're then going to recap all the big results against Manchester City, Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, in that run where we only got 1 point and we're bottom of the table at the start of the year. It's gone a lot better this year, and we're going to point to a few factors as to why. I'm going to show you the missed corner that we just had. We could have won it at the death. Orsic, by the way, has scored one of the goals of the year to get us back to 4-4 in a game that has been crazy. While the highlights are going, we were 2-0 down. We then scored 3 goals, but we're going a half-time 3-2 up. We then conceded twice before Orsic scoring, and it is going to finish 4-4. And well, what a performance it was from the boys. As you can see, a entertaining game end to end. We've been playing the positive 4-2-3-1 every game bar the first month where we try to play the balance system. I'm just telling you guys right now, this 4-2-3-1 is starting to purr, and my word, what a game of football this was. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give the boys the team talk here and show you guys the table, because we have rocketed up the table. That is correct. As you can see, we expected to be fighting in and around probably 15th, 16th, 13th, maybe 12th on a good day. I will say we're on 29 points. We lose a couple of games, off we go. But we've just finished our busy period, and we currently sit 11th. We're only a point behind Everton in 10th, and there is a very strong chance that we finish mid-table this season. I've also brought in a new right back, who I'm going to show you there as well, and it is the transfer window, so we see if we can do anything there too. We'll have to say as well, Jared Cunnington has been developing very, very well on loan, and expect him to be part of the team next year. Arsenal just sacked their manager, and they're looking at me. We do not care. Let's go through this run, though, where this is the run that put us only on 1 point. You can see here, we've only lost 1 game. That is the run that we have been on. 1 freaking game. That is correct. I'm so proud of the boys. I was sending my mate Paul photos of these two because usually you're the guy getting FM'd. We FM'd and the bejeebers out of Arsenal and Manchester City, which I'm about to show you. Last episode, what was the recap of the Fulham game and this little period here. Look, Manchester United, we did lose 1-0. It does happen. They were the better side. We conceded 82nd minute. And for a possession-based positive system, we do defend it very well in it. We beat Everton 2-0. This is a game that you guys don't particularly care too much about because they're having a good year, but at home at the racecourse, we should be pretty good. We had more shots, less possession, but we look very good. Koulibaly, who's currently out injured, did score. He still looks this good, somehow not capped by the Ivory Coast because they are just silly. But let's get into the FMings and get you into this Liverpool game. That was incredible. Arsenal... I'm just looking at the shots. Arsenal at the Emirates, 37% possession, only 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals. That's never happened to me ever on Football Manager. I couldn't believe it. I was laughing. I played this game. I'm watching Spurs and West Ham are watching Son limp around and not getting any returns for me on fantasy. But yeah, here you are. Odegaard slots a penalty, and then Moriba finds Pavlovic. Ball out of Ashby, fires into the roof of the net, and you're going, yeah, okay, we're in the game. We're in the game. Can we do something? And then the press, and this is what's been so amazing, is we have pressed the big boys out of games. And as you can see, a mistake here, Kristovic cutting off that passing lane. Don't know why he's trying to pay it back to Ramsdale there, and we score and we hold on, and that is an incredible win. And I thought, okay, flash in the pan, we beat Arsenal, we had 2 shots on target. It is what it is. Then Manchester City came to the racecourse. We went down to 10 men as well. 66% possession Man City had with 21 shots. 34% of the ball. We did have a couple more shots than we did against Arsenal. We held on to a 1-0 clean sheet. Arthur was incredible in this game. I know that Game's only going to show you the goal, but yeah. But yet again, it's a pressing situation. You know, we're squeezing. Dewberry wins it high. Saravolo, Josh Herman at 16 years of age scores at the racecourse against Manchester City. His CV at a young age is becoming very, very, very good. Is young Josh in terms of his development? It's there. It features between 2 to 2.5 star, which is both. You know, they keep saying he's League One footballer. I just look at him and go, if we can get those technical abilities all the up to 15s and the mentals can keep developing, then we're going to have a very good footballer, and he's already got good technique. I'm pretty happy with Josh, and at some stage he'll become the number one striker here at the football club. We then played Chelsea at home as well. We drew 1-1 against Chelsea, which was superb. In this game here, we were more unlucky to not win. We were the better team. We had 57% of the ball, 14 shots compared to Chelsea's 2, and Fabinho, who used to play at Liverpool, which has hurt me a little bit, obviously scoring to give Chelsea the lead, and we had Mariba score his first goal for the club. From a corner. We beat Stoke in the FA Cup 1-0 in a game we absolutely dominated. We should not have done it. And the game we lost was to Bournemouth of all teams. We lost to Bournemouth in a game where it was an even game. We had slightly more shots, but same possession. Very even game. We conceded 84th minute. And that's the thing, is like, you know, in this run, we've gone against the big boys and held our own, and then against Bournemouth, we've lost. And you can see which 2 games I've played this morning, not yesterday. You know, last night, I didn't play FM. The day before that, I had a family dinner. So the only games that I've played since our last episode have been these games in the morning. We've watching the Premier League, being good old Australia, wake up a bit early and watch some games. And then the Bournemouth-Liverpool game and Stoke game has been today. Sorry, we played Stoke yesterday, but yeah, it's been today, and I am planning to go live shortly once I get the cleaning done. Depending on whether it's bucketing in Australia, I'll be live if we don't have cricket. If not, I'm off to play cricket, and then I'll be live probably tonight. With that being said, Liverpool, let's get into this game here. It was incredible. It's going to not make me do this. Okay, let me confirm and go forward, and I should be able to watch the goals somewhere here. There we go. And just show you guys the goals. And what was an incredible game of football. It did look we're going to get pumped, but now we turned around and went absolutely ballistic against Liverpool, and it looked like we should have won. And as you can see, Luis Diaz in a Samardovic, who I think is a regen, and a good finish there as well. So 1-0 down. And then Arthur gets beat again here from another good Liverpool move. Robertson, Luis Diaz does his thing, stands him up. Robertson, Diaz, Asan, goal. You're 2-0 down, you're expecting to get beat. There we go. And then all of a sudden, we just put the screws on. Desni Udogie, Pavlovic, with a good run, Kristovic, and he's looked good, Kristovic, this season. Started a little bit slow, but now the more he's been integrated into the team in terms of, you know, training everyone week in, week out, etc., he's starting to look very good, is Kristovic. Your Destiny Udogie now going on a run, beats his man, wing back on attack. Slight deflection on the cross, but it falls to Kristovic. We'll take it 2-2. And then the goal that gives us the lead is from a set piece, or from a corner, I should say. Konsa, Lo Celso, Konsa, Destiny Udogie, into Lo Celso, through bodies, bottom bin. Becker's got no chance to save that one. And Lo Celso scores a massive goal in the context of our season. Unfortunately, we concede then to a set piece here. Osimhen heads home. And it looks like we're going to lose the game when Diogo Jota scores from a rebound after a very good save from Arthur. And you feel for Arthur a little bit. And he's had a fantastic year. I have no plans on selling him at all in this save. But there he is. Great save from Arthur. It was behind him. Unfortunately, though, could only parry it back to Diogo Jota, who taps home. But then have a look at this from Orsic. We win the ball here. Orsic has got no speed, but all dribbling and still finishing. And he has 4 Liverpool defenders around him. Cuts inside 2 of them. And whilst Nathaniel Chabalov from Chelsea stands on top of him, outside of the boot finish past Becker. 4-4. We missed a late corner. What a game of football. If we're doing that to the team that won the Prem last season, we're going to have a very good year and a very good end of the season, you think, with the run of games that we've got coming up as well. And I really think we're going to finish top 10 this season on the base of what I've seen. Lucky last, I did say I brought in a right back. I'm going to show you it. He's unfortunately injured because he got injured against Stoke and he's out for 3 weeks. And that's Dan Robinson. I wanted to actually buy an experienced right back that maybe had some long throw ability, it looks, you know, good on paper, or someone more experienced to come in. Anyone that's wants to come in as only a decent Premier League player, so not really the guy. So I've got a guy that's 3-star, who's 19, that's English, that could develop into a monster. As you can see, he's got very good physicals apart from jumping reach, some very well-rounded technicals with good determination, decision-making, and natural bravery and work rate. He's also got 17 natural tackling and 16 technique, so he's basically Wan-Bissaka, but could actually go forward and play football. He's not just a tackle merchant, and as you can see, he's got 13 natural crossing with 13 first touch. This guy playing as a wing-back on attack on the right-hand side will overthrow Ashby and will be our first choice right back moving forward. I just think this is a signing that is a no-brainer from Southampton, 23 mil, that's all upfront money, and that was that. And I'm very happy with that sort of deal. It does mean that the team is in a very, very, very good spot. You know, there's no one else really to speak about here. You know, people are developing, and that's the main reason I think we've had the upturn in form against the bigger teams. Is Pavlovic has now developed into a decent Premier League player with potential to be a good to leading Premier League player, right? Kristovic has now learnt the role, and he's got 9 goals in 22 games here for a relegation-threatened club on paper. You know, we know what he does at Lecce, but he's now developed into the system. Mariba has been developing a nice little bit, so, you know, he's more of a, you know, good Premier League player. And same with Destiny Udogie. It's taken him some time. I feel like he's one of those late bloomers that FM been talking about. And at 25 years of age, his mentals are starting to become that little bit more well-rounded. And you can see where I'm going with this. The team has just developed into a better side because of the youngsters that we have. You know, and Arthur starts games. Arthur's now looking a little bit more well-rounded as well. You know, Herman's getting that little bit better too. You know, the team is forever changing, and the team is forever getting better. In terms of the game I'm going to give you in today's episode, it's going to be against a side, I reckon, in and around the mid-tableness, and I think I'm going to give you West Ham away as that game. I think we'll go away to West Ham, give them a strong game, and this will prove that we're going to finish top half of mid-table. And I really think if we can, I don't know if we're going to beat Spurs, right? If we could beat Luton and go on a cut run, that would be nice. And if we could beat Villa at home, we could maybe beat West Ham in today's episode, give you only one game. It's not too bad. And then we'll pick and choose who we come back for towards the run in. Still probably give you one of the teams around here. I know Fulham are having a decent season. And then come back for hopefully the end of the season of Arsenal, Man City to see where we finish. I'll also say if we go on an FA Cup run, that will take precedent in this season because it does look like we're not going to get relegated. And it does, of course, look like that we are going to finish in the mid-table at a minimum. Also be back if we do make any transfer signings as well, because there is a few guys on my radar. I think with the money that we've got in the football club and 18 million to spend, there's not too much we can do, but if there's a couple little wonder kids out there, I think getting more youth that are going to develop into world-class players is probably the way to go, because anyone worth their weight in salt does not want to come to Wrexham with our reputation still being so low. Welcome back, YouTube. We have got the game at the London Stadium against West Ham. Let's go recap some results since we last met, obviously, after that 4-4 Liverpool game. We lost to Spurs 4-1. Mariba got himself sent off for a double-footed challenge, and it kind of fell away after that. We're getting pretty well pumped in that as well, that game. We weren't at the races. We then knocked Luton out of the FA Cup, which means we are through to the 5th round for the first time in a couple of years, because we keep drawing Manchester City in the 3rd round. Aston Villa is who we've got, and that is a team we just beat at home 1-0, but Villa do sit currently 3rd in the table as things stand. You know, in the Premier League, they're having a very good year. Look like they're going to try and get into European competition. They're currently in the Europa League at the moment as well. With that being said, next episode is going to be Aston Villa, and if that gets to a replay, I'll show you guys the replay as well in that video. And I'm going to leave that game for its own YouTube purpose. But that means that we currently sit 13th, and my mum's banging some vegetables or whatever for maybe some chicken for the chicken soup. I'm going to do that so we don't get that over the mic. What that means is we currently sit 13th, but we're comfortably 13th. Our goal difference is nearly at parity. And I keep mentioning to the streamers, I am currently live on stream, links down below, come follow us live on Twitch, is in this run here, we play a lot of the teams in and around us and below us. If we could do what we've done to, you know, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Aston Villa, we really have to be targeting this sort of game as a winnable game away from home and really look to target a 9th place finish is kind of what I'm trying to target. Unfortunately, though, Dane Robertson has hurt himself again with a gashed upper leg, so he's going to miss this game here. And Kristovic has picked up some COVID, so, you know, not nice to see someone get COVID, but there we go. And that means we're going to make those 2 changes here. It means that Ashby's now going to come into the team there. And up front, Saravolo is going to come back into the team. because he's back from international duty. What that means is we're going to go Arthur, Ashby, Ariga, Waylon, Reneke, Udogi, Koulibaly, a player I'm going to speak about in a second because I did make a transfer this window. Arthur, Lo Celso, Pavlovic, and Herman. Introducing to you, though, Brian Sanchez, a youngster that is learning to play deeper line playmaker on defend or on support in the defensive midfielder role. We'll just highlight the role in the central midfielder role. He's got 17 natural passing, with 17 technique, with 17 teamwork, with 16 vision, with natural flair and good determination. He's fairly well-rounded and has got 5-star potential and already a Premier League asset. He didn't cost us too much money. It's 9.25 million. That wasn't the release fee. Over time, if he plays 50 games and plays for Argentina, it rises to like 14 mil. Absolute piddles. Feel like we needed just like one more better asset, and that's mainly because I did loan out the last of a Goodiabi so he can develop as well. And what that means for Brian is that he looks fantastic. In terms of form, though, let's go and have a look at form. Played against Luton on his debut in the FA Cup, got both assists for both goals and a 9.1. And then in his first game in the Premier League against third place Aston Villa, he ran the show and got a 7.4. This guy is silky smooth on the ball and someone to watch out for, and someone that Mariba should be looking out for, because if he learns the role and starts to develop, he might be after his role. Herman into the team. Always exciting to see Herman play. We're moving to an advanced forward role, obviously his preferred position. The rest of the team stays as it is, and Ashby is a very good player to be bringing off the bench for a youngster that is developing into a pretty good player. West Ham have got Facundo Torres and Yuri Alberto up front. Bowles on the left-hand side, not the right, because I got 30 on the other side. Walker Peters is here. Luizao, I cannot pronounce his name, the Brazilian from the Brazilian League, with Luis Felipe, so two Brazilians back there. And Demaril's out at right back, who's more of a right back that sits at home and doesn't do too much. And they've obviously still got, I think, Ariola in net, but we'll find that out in a second. No, they've got Meslier. I remember that from last episode when we had an 8-goal thriller against them in the FA Cup and we couldn't get past the 5th round. That's a goal for West Ham, but 30 looked offside in the build-up, and Torres could have been offside as well. Both of them look close. We are looking at some VARness, and I do think this is going to be a game where it's going to be, this is going to be a highlight where it will be given offside, and it is. I'm also going to say if this game finishes like 0-0, 1-1, something like that, away from home against a team ahead of us on the table is okay. The games against the Leicesters and the Swanseas and the Norwiches, etc., we have to win those games, so we think we're going to be in the top half of the table. I don't know if that's something that we really need to strive for, but I also think if you aim for the top half of the table at 9th and we finish 12th, we're very happy. Koulibaly picks up the ball from deep and goes on a run, the Ivory Coast man, and he still is yet to be cut from the Ivory Coast, and finishing like that won't help him, but we just put in a new deal for him, and he now has a release fee of 256 million if a club in the Champions League wants him, compared to 9 million if we got relegated and 60 mil over all time. Yuri Alberto scores, we're 1-0 down. That's not offside, and we are losing to West Ham now, which is no good. Also important to note, Arrigo, I know we just conceded, also now has a release of 160 million too. So a few of the release fees for our better players that are developing have now been removed and increased significantly. That's a pretty good finish. Arthur maybe could do a little bit better, but I think the animation's done our goalkeeper a little bit dirty there. He dives over the ball. I don't think that's really a defensive mistake or whatever. I think that's just a graphical thing. And Arthur's still been our best player this season and is the reason why we beat Manchester City. So, yeah, we're going to leave him alone. Anyway, Pavlovic wins the ball back. He's been developing too. And Herman, who I think will eventually become the number 1 striker here at some stage, or at least be nailed in the squad for a long time. Sanchez, in his second ever game, where we went for goal. I love what he does. Every time I look at him in a game so far, is game number 3 for us. He looks incredible. And I think there's a really good baller in him. Unfortunately, though, we are 1-0 down in what has been a tight game of not too much to really sing at home about. We're yet to put a shot on target. We are missing a few big players for this game here. Obviously, our more first-choice right-back and our starting striker. But I'm pretty happy how the team still looks on paper, and I think we should have done a little bit better. I will say Pavlovic and Arthur not having the best of game out there. We don't really have the cover for Arthur because Dewberry is injured. But yeah, Meslier with the ball to Luizao. In to Vowden. Facundo Torres has moved wide now. Back to Luizao. We've been very good in the press if we could win this one high. Arthur's squeezing. I like that we're cutting off the pass back to the centre-back, but in the end we allowed him into the centre of midfield and broke the line, which is not good. 30 now. Inside the Morita. Yuri Alberto's in again, and that wasn't good goalkeeping. That's onside. Arthur's let one go under him, and that is a goalkeeper mistake. And that was not even a well-hit shot. It was a P-roller that has gone through our goalkeeper and in, and that is 2-0. And that is not good. And, well, maybe we think we're too good for ourselves. Maybe we got really lucky this year and we're in a very good spot. But, yeah, our goalkeeper should be doing much better than that. 65 minutes played. I think with that being said, we're now just going to make some changes here. Pavlovic is going to come on or come off, and Orsic will move out there. Arthur's going to come off, and we're going to bring on Elliot Lee, because why not? Elliot Lee is out here. I'm going to bring off Herman, and we're going to bring in Paul Mullen, so these guys get to see a little bit of Mullen. And Ceravono is going to get his first game back in the Premier League as well. We're going to leave one change up our sleeve just in case too, and we're going to continue on. That's the thing. If you look at the people we're bringing on here, I know there's a few injuries, but you're bringing on Mullen, Elliot Lee. Should have been 3-0 down. Would have been offside. Okay. Elliot Lee, Mullen, Orsic. You're probably looking at the backup side not being great, but for a team that is quite young, I am going to bring Oliveri in for your doggy here as well. Don't want your doggy getting injured. He's one of our more important players. You would be saying that it's not the strongest squad, but I think we're now starting to get our starting 11 into a Premier League sort of level. And in the end, Arthur will save another P-roller, which is good. Yeah, not the greatest game. We got so many good wins against some of the bigger teams, but that's kind of been our issue this year. Like, we even did this during our strong one. Against the likes of Norwich we drew, and Swansea we drew, and here against West Ham, Elliot Lee puts one wide, he looked offside. It would have counted. It would have been a goal kick. We seem to do better in the bigger games, which is not a bad thing. We just need to make sure that we start getting the boys to make sure against the weaker sides, and hopefully we do that second half of the year, that we dominate enough. In the end, what's been a very disappointing display, maybe the couple of injuries and the disruptions to the team haven't really helped today. West Ham look pretty good at the London Stadium and start eking away in ninth. However, with the good fixtures we have coming up, I am not too concerned at all. It does happen. I'm hoping that moving forward, we can continue to start getting some points and doing well. I will also say, if we look at the league table and move it from league table and go from away record, we are currently down here in the away record. It's not good. 13 games played, 9 points, 17 for 27 against, and 8 losses. If you go to our home record, back one thing and go to home record, all of a sudden we're 6-5-2, and he lost 2 games at home all year. And it really does show that when we're at home, we're a much different beast than when we are away from home. So that is all I wanted to show you guys there. Lucky last, the Data Hub, for those wondering how we're going. We're actually, if you look at the Data Hub, expected to be in 10th, we're currently 13th. And that's because we're under our XG, over the XGA, and we've only got 6 points plus on where we should be as well. With that all being said and done, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. I'll catch you guys for the Aston Villa FA Cup game. Hopefully we force a replay and get a game at the Swansea Stadium because we get more match revenue. If not, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you and goodbye.